story begins with 3 women sailing off to celebrate a farewell, but a sudden, deadly snowfall kills 2 of them. Meanwhile, 3 men, Juan, Tano, and Omar, head to a regular card game, delayed by citywide protests. When they finally arrive at Tano's home, they're welcomed by his wife Ana and their friend Vicente. As the group plays cards and drinks whiskey, strange noises echo outside. Tensions spike when Russo steps out and collapses, becoming one of the storm's early victims. Disturbed and desperate, the men consider their next steps. A mysterious delivery girl named Inga appears at their door, caught in the snow. They let her in, while Juan attempts to start the car to reach his family, only to find it dead. When they witness a neighbor die just outside, Juan's resolve hardens. He must get to his wife Elena and daughter, Clara. Tano makes him a makeshift protective suit, but a fight breaks out when Omar demands it for himself. In the end, Juan leaves alone, trudging through snowy streets littered with corpses. In a flashback, we see residents reacting to the first signs of the catastrophe as power outages sweep across the city. In the present, Juan reaches Elena's building but learns Clara is missing, having gone to a friend's for dinner. When armed neighbors turn hostile, a shootout forces Juan and Elena into hiding. Elena agrees to go search for Clara while Juan stays behind, eventually suffocating and collapsing from exposure. Fortunately, Tano and the group hear the gunfire and rescue him. Juan regains consciousness in an old truck beside Elena, relieved, but far from safe. As the story deepens, Inga's backstory is revealed, how she survived the first night of the snowfall. Back at Tano's, the group argues over dwindling supplies and trust begins to erode. Omar's impulsiveness leads him to steal Tano's car, only to crash it soon after. Meanwhile, Juan and Elena split up to find Clara. Elena finds a traumatized boy named Pablo hiding in a closet. He leads them to his house where they find his family dead. When Pablo falls ill, Elena convinces Juan to steal medicine from a pharmacy, but they're ambushed by a couple who take everything. With Pablo's help, they escape and return to Tano's home. As survival becomes more brutal, Tano arms Inga and learns from a radio signal that the crisis is global. When Juan, Elena, and Pablo return, Tano urges the group to flee town. Juan refuses, still focused on finding Clara. Meanwhile, a couple who had earlier robbed Juan are killed by an unknown force, hinting that something darker is watching from the shadows. Episode 4 introduces more threats. Under a bridge, a mysterious figure in a yellow suit watches as the group buries Russo. While searching for Clara's friend's house, Juan, Tano, and Lucas stumble into a military zone patrolled by soldiers warning of danger ahead. They ignore the warning and run into massive insect-like creatures that drag a soldier away. The group hides and later takes shelter in a church. There, tensions boil again, and Omar hints at a secret escape route. As they flee through a tunnel, a crying baby nearly gives them away, but a heroic nun and Rengo stay behind, sacrificing themselves by setting the church on fire to buy time. The group escapes in a truck, with Juan haunted by what he's seen and what he's starting to remember. Episode 5 opens with Juan having a vision of his younger self on a battlefield. When he wakes, he returns with Tano and Omar to Tano's home, and to his shock, finds Clara safe with Elena. Tano barters his house for an RV to help the group escape. However, Clara's strange suit and missing memories raise questions. On the road, they encounter a murdered family and later find shelter in a shopping mall with other survivors. Clara suffers a breakdown, and Elena suggests heading to Campo de Mayo for help. Lucas goes missing, and when the snowfall stops, people begin venturing out without masks. But just as things seem to calm, the mall is attacked. In the chaos, Juan kills a young mother, deeply unsettling him. Lucas returns with soldiers, and the group flees the mall, only to see that the river has started flowing again. One of the attackers is strangely recognized by the bugs, hinting at a disturbing connection between humans and the invaders. In episode 6, Juan wakes in a field after a blackout, haunted by guilt over the woman he killed. At the military camp, Tano learns Lucas has posed as an engineer and helps repair an old radio to connect with other survivors. Meanwhile, a train crew proposes using a nearby locomotive to reach the city center. The group splits up for a mission to restore communication and stumbles upon people brainwashed by the bugs, including Inga, now aligned with Omar. During a card game, Lucas unexpectedly stabs Omar and throws himself to his death, claiming everything was planned. As the brainwash turn violent, the group escapes by train, but Juan veers off to investigate a nearby stadium. Inside, he finds it converted into a bug-controlled base, where human captives are being trained or transformed. A haunting melody from the bug leader triggers a wave of déjà vu, and Juan realizes Clara is one of the captives. Everything begins to blur: memory, vision, and reality. The season ends on a chilling note, with mounting questions about Clara's true identity, Lucas's betrayal, and the strange power behind Juan's visions. The enemy is no longer just alien, it may be something inside them all. Review The Eternaut, Season 1. An eerie, emotional, and slow-burning sci-fi survival tale. Netflix's The Eternaut is a bold and atmospheric reimagining of the iconic Argentine graphic novel, blending classic post-apocalyptic dread with deeply personal storytelling. Across its first 6 episodes, the show builds a bleak but compelling vision of Buenos Aires, caught in a surreal and deadly snowfall, one that doesn't just threaten life but bends reality itself. From the first scene, the Eternaut stakes its identity on mood and mystery. The world ends not with a bang, but with silence, snow, and a slow unraveling of everything familiar. The narrative follows Juan Salvo, an ordinary man forced into extraordinary circumstances, as he navigates an invisible invasion, searching for his family while confronting terrifying visions and moral choices. What sets this series apart from other survival dramas is its emotional depth. The tension doesn't just come from alien bugs or hostile survivors, it's in the quiet grief of parents, the fraying bonds of friendship, and the haunting question of whether those we love are still who they once were. The Eternaut wisely trades high-concept spectacle for intimacy, using the collapse of society to explore loyalty, memory, and the erosion of trust. Visually, the series leans into grounded realism with a haunting edge. The snow-covered streets feel oppressive. The monsters are grotesque but sparsely shown, and the cinematography captures both the scale of the disaster and the claustrophobia of survival. The performances are equally grounded. Ricardo Darín Jr. brings layered vulnerability to Juan, while the supporting cast navigates shifting loyalties and trauma with nuance. If there's a drawback, it's in the pacing. The series takes its time, sometimes too much, with long scenes that build atmosphere, but occasionally stall momentum. The mystery-heavy plot may also leave some viewers feeling lost or frustrated, especially as the show juggles flashbacks, visions, and a slow reveal of the enemy's nature. Still, The Eternaut succeeds where it matters most. It gets under your skin. It's not just a story about surviving the unknown. It's about what survival costs, and how easily humanity can be manipulated when fear and memory collide. Verdict. The Eternaut, Season 1 is a chilling, thoughtful sci-fi that rewards patience with atmosphere, character depth, and existential mystery. It's not for everyone, but for those willing to step into the snow. It's a haunting ride that lingers long after the credits roll. Rating: 4.5.